Hello, hi there, lovely gorgeous Sagittariuses. Welcome to my channel. My name is Bella, and most people know me as Bella the Secret Psychic. And how I do my readings, if you're watching me for the first time, is I'm a psychic, and so I work with the energies and what guidance I'm given by my spirit guides, which is how I do all of my readings. If you'd like to know more about me or my services, or perhaps join me on my Facebook page where I give free daily guidance also there too, then all the links are just down below. Or if you want a private reading, they start from as little as $4.99. So for most of you who know how I work, I just jump straight right in there. But just before I do that, let's just say for some Sagittariuses, you might have had that shake up to wake you up last month a little bit, or it might be starting to play out a little bit at the beginning of April. Some of you might get scared that some past things may be resurfacing in their heads, but you need to understand that we are in a retrograde, so that sometimes can bring back things to bite us in the bottom that we thought we'd laid to rest. But also we're in Chiron the Wounded Warrior, which did visit us about July last year. And let's just say if you swept anything under the carpet when it comes to your romantic love life, so for example, if you're single and you promised yourself that you was not going to date people who were, you know, vague or not non-committal, and then you find yourself that you've then started to date somebody that describes that, then this energy will be playing that out to remind you that's what you didn't want and that it's not going to get better and that you need to choose things differently. Let's just say you've got back with a partner that perhaps didn't treat you very, very well last year, or has some problems or addictive personalities or whatever it is, and you swept something under the carpet. It's been played out right now. But you need to understand the difference this time, my dears, is that you are far stronger to implement your boundaries and your everything in this situation. You need to know that even if it feels a bit rough, and I have to say it like that, you got this, Sagittarius. You have this in the bag. You can deal with this. So I'm going to look at things week by week as we play through the energy, but that was the first message that needed to come out, because you're heading in the right direction. You're not going to have the same experiences that you had last year or even for the last 2.5 years. Different. Right, the first thing I'm getting across heavily, guys, is that some of you have been dealing with somebody, doesn't matter what type of connection, where they do have some highly toxic behaviors. So this could be a number of things, because this is a general reading. So this can be drugs, alcohol, cheat, sex addiction, porn, gambling. It could also be, because I'm guessing the word bipolar, that you're dealing with somebody that has some imbalances in their personality also too, that you're, narcissism, all that kind of stuff that you've been dealing with, or that has flared up. So there might have been a situation where you got back with an ex, or you're married and your partner's for the last 6 months said they're not going to do that thing. They've knocked it on the head, only to find that either last month or in this month, particularly in the first couple of weeks while we're still in the retrograde and this Chiron energy, that they've revisited it. Don't panic. I say that because a lot of you will. You have the power to shift this the way you want. Even if you have to do the drastic, do not think that all hope is lost, because it isn't. And also, it's this a sharp kind of experience right now. You move past it easily. Some of you will not know how, which is partly why you might be here today, to see how you can do that, particularly in the first week. And some of you need to be careful that you're not letting the energies of that person's toxic behavior bring you down. Because I just get here a lot of you at the beginning of the month feeling really rubbish, really low, not knowing how to move past this. I get a lot of you also feeling quite restricted, that you can't tell a lot of people because perhaps they're tired of hearing it, or you know the kind of advice they would give you, which you're not in a place to see it that way. You want to see the possibility, the hope, the way, your solution focus, which is very, very Sagittarius. It's not about, so for you to be low is quite unusual, but you have a lot of power in you. You will not feel this way. You might feel this way for 2 weeks, I'm not going to lie, but I do get here, you have a fire that burns inside of you. You have that think about the Sagittarius, half man, half horse with his arrow. That arrow, you will shoot through anything and everybody to kind of gallop through something, and you are going to use that inner strength. This experience right now is to strengthen you and to strengthen the connection that you have with somebody else also too. You can move past this, but you need to put your blooming foot down. Massively. Scarily. Which might feel really scary. Like, for example, particularly if you're married and you're thinking, I really don't want my marriage to end, but I can't take the toxic kind of behaviour. Put your foot down without fear that there will be loss, because there will be gain. You will break free from the shackles of that energy, and you're doing it at the right time in this energy retrograde Chiron stuff that I won't bore you with, but it's a planetary stuff. You're doing it at the right time, because the energy for the next 2.5 years for you is different. I should say 2 years now is different. It's smoother running, but let's say it's like spring cleaning. The universe is just making sure that those things that you might have swept under the carpet when it comes to your love life are taken back out and properly hoovered up so that it's gone, obliterated. This is your chance to obliterate that once and for all. Now, for some of you, that might be you need to walk away for good. But mostly I get here that there's hope, and you need to trust yourself in terms of what you want to do. Do look at the solutions. You know, and sometimes you don't need to look at the big end of the spectrum. You might want to take small steps. So, for example, if you want somebody, let's just say they do have a drinking problem, you want them, you know, your outcome would be not to be drinking, happy, that's under the belt. But it seems an impossibility, because actually that's for them to do and not you to do. Think about what you can do. You know, if you're feeling like, you know, from a scale to 1 to 10, you're feeling like a 3 in the connection right now, and you want to get to 10 but you don't know how, don't think about getting to 10. Think about what can I do to get to a 4. Take small steps. But the most important thing, which is definitely a 10, is to put your foot down. No more. No more. You will see through lies. You will see through trickery. You have lots more choices. And the beautiful thing about this energy, particularly if you do move, you know, make it all about yourself and moving away from toxicity until that other person around you can behave and be better, or go and get the help, whatever it is they need. Because it feels very much there are connections around you where others need help and it's not you and not your fault. That it just allows you to grow, to find yourself again, because you kind of, you know, when you're with somebody that's toxic, it does become all about them, and you can lose yourself. And you can actually blame yourself a little bit. No, it moves you into a space where actually you can think about you and yourself, and where have I gone, and what can I do, and how can I move forward. It's lovely. Let them do this. Some of you, particularly if you're dealing with people with personality problems, they will try to probably dance and trick in the background, but I just feel like you'll just have this wall where they just can't get to you until they start to behave and use language and get help. That's the only time your invisible force field comes down. You're going to make it about you this month, particularly when you get to the 3rd week. All the hard work that you've been putting into somebody else, and the situation gets put onto you. But by doing that, and I've been saying that to a few signs this month, is that instead of you being always lowering yourself to their vibration to try to drag them out of it, but only to find yourself stuck down there with them, so you make it all about you, your vibration raises, and those that are meant for you, instead of trying to tempt you down here, they have to climb up, which is better for them too. You have a better connection because you have a better vibration. Stop enabling. Let them come and do the work. But mostly you do the work on you too. I get here basically as we go into May for you guys, it's new beginnings. But mainly because you've learnt some lessons about yourself and your inner strength and your inner ability that perhaps in the last batch of energy we've just had over the last few weeks, you might have thought you didn't have, but you do. So I think the title of this video needs to be Put Your Foot Down. Don't you agree, guys? And put yourself first. And I super hope that that's helped you again. Join me next month to find out how the energies play out when it comes to your love life next month. and I super hope that's been helpful. Again, all the links to me and my services are just down below. You take care, and I'll see you next month. Bye.